Yes, it will be a brilliant, brilliant future. Thank you for being here. Thank you with you, my colleagues. And I have prepared the presentation basically in two parts. One is more about the mobility of the future in general. What and which general trends do we see within Alstom as a big company? And I'll show you two slides. What is Alstom about? And then later on, I will transfer to a showcase, which is a hydrogen train, Kurā Island, where I am so-called father of this island, started 2014. So I can give you a little bit insights of this program. Yes, what about Alstom in overall? Don't be afraid. Just to illustrate, we are a big company. We have 8 billion of sales per year. The last fiscal year, we had an order intake of 12 billion. We are located worldwide, and we have roughly 35,000 employees, and we are dealing with all products which are necessary for the railway system: rolling stock, signaling, services, and systems. Systems is the turnkey programs. In order to illustrate which type of products we are doing on rolling stock, we are covering everything from right rail, from tramways, up to high-speed trains. The famous TGV is aware of everybody of you. We are doing as well roughly 40% of this business. The rest is divided equally by 20% on signaling, services, and infrastructure. And we are investing between 4 and 5% of our revenues in R&D. This gives as well one of the elements: where do we see the global trends in the market? What are the macroeconomic drivers supporting the growth of our business and as well your businesses? First, urbanization will increase tremendously. We have seen and heard this already from the Chinese presentation: growth of population concentrating in megacities. Secondly, sustainable development is a key, and I will come to this with the Kurā Island story later on. As well, a lot of politicians are listening to this. As well, the environmental, governmental impacts and supportive elements are in our hands as railway and systems provider and service providers. And as well, we see a global trend of growth for transportation, for mobility, because mobility will be in the future as well. And which new technologies could drive this new trends and new decades of innovation of the future? One element, and I'll make it very, very short, is the digital world. Digitalization will be impacted more and more in our business, which drive then connected trains, connected mobility. Trains will be more and more autonomous driven. There will be an interaction between all different means of transportation, modal modes, multimodal flow, shared mobility. So not everybody will own his own car in the future. There will be shared mobility, mobility on demand, mobility and as a service. And there will be as well communication needs with all the infrastructure, with other industries provide for us to enable all this digitalization. So these are the global trends being where we are in the growth, but we are as well sharing the different mobility areas. Private, individual, public collectivity will be autonomous and shared mobility in the future. Another big trend, what is as well very, very important, is that a lot of political constraints will be put in place. The so-called diesel ban is already in place in some cities. Big countries are moving to this trend. Electrical mobility is in everybody's mind. And you see the roadmap that cities like Copenhagen, Paris, in 2020 want to get really for this diesel ban in the future. Some countries, big areas. So there will be big move and a big challenge for us in order to answer to all these trends. And there are two drives which are as well combined in the Kurā Island. One is the hydrogen world, and there's a lot of investment in the hydrogen as an energy provider of the future and storage and being transportable. And secondly, we see global trends in mass production of battery systems. If you remember 10, 15 years ago, what was the price of a small mobile phone, not a smartphone, a mobile? Today, you get a smartphone with all the computer inside for the same price. So these global trends will come up in the future as well. Now, coming to the second part of the presentation, the Kurā Island. So this slide I've built when I've made the first speech of the Kurā Island. It was 2016. So at that time, the climate COP21 was held in Paris, which drove a lot of political and environmental new systems and regulatives of the future. Then there was a follow-up meeting in Marrakesh, in Fuji and Katowice, so meaning this global warming will drive and has started to drive the whole economy in a completely different shape. And one of this was the CO2, the global warming. Even though our rail business is a relatively small contributor to this, however, there's something to be done. We are very, very good positioned compared to other transport sectors, being road or being airplane. So, nevertheless, we still have CO2 emissions in our transport systems, and it has been already mentioned that in some countries, 50% of the network is non-electrified. The question is, why has it not been electrified decades before, completely 100%? It was a question of money, and it is a question of money. Second point is, and second question, what is and what could be the answer of the future? Are there means and solutions which can overcome this dilemma? The answer, yes, because we can bring electrification 100% emission-free in the trains. And one of the answers Alstom has built is the Kurā Island. It's a regional train. The purpose of this train was we have similar trains in diesel. We wanted to keep the same performance of these trains, the same capacity for passengers, the same mileage, the same acceleration, in order to have a transition from diesel trains to emission-free hydrogen trains. Why is this so important? Because an operator, an investor, who is buying such type of trains, he needs to invest for the next 30 years. And he has an existing fleet. And he has a running operation schedule in order to feed this. And he will not replace from one day to another a complete 100% of his fleet. So there must be a possibility to migrate from an existing technology to a new technology without any constraints of daily operation in a new system. And this is the answer where we made it with the Kurā Island. For sure, it is not only environmental friendly, because when I went with a business case to my CEO, I had to demonstrate that this is a good investment, because we are in a company in order to invest in future products which can be sold to the market. And in between, we have already signed 2 contracts in Germany with this train. So we are on the way, and the resonance of this technology is tremendous worldwide. Not only in Germany, it's in Europe, it's in worldwide. North America, Malaysia, New Zealand, Australia. So you see, there's a lot of interest of such technologies. And why is this a good product? First, I see a lot of new regulations to come. I've mentioned the diesel ban. CO2 emissions in the future, I'm 100% sure will come. No, and we have already discussions with some operators and some customers. Today investing with a lifetime of a product, 30 years plus, might be 40 years. In 40 years' time, might be in 2030, 2028 or 2030, am I allowed to enter in a main station with a diesel engine? And what to do if the product has still a remaining life cycle of 20, 25 years? So this question is already in the mindset. For sure, technology, we have not invented the fuel cell systems and the battery systems on our own. We have taken something which is available, customized on the market. So this technology is ready. And there is as well, and you see the Charter of the UN, we have affordable and clean energy and sustainable communities. I think the pressure for the communities will grow as well. Another example I heard in a discussion 10, 15 years ago, it was common to smoke in restaurants. Forbidden now in most of the countries. Imagine in 5, 10 years, it's forbidden to enter with a CO2 emission car in the city. And why? is this technology working? And I'm an engineer, and there are fundamental basics, which is, and this is relevant for rail business, for rail transportation means, it's about energy and weight. If we look in the history of energy, why has the rail system been so successful? Because the steam loco had an energy provider, which was a coal in the tender. And this has an energy density of 34 megajoule per kilogram. Even though then it went from coal to gasoline, and the transition period was roughly 10, 20, might be sometimes 25 years, it went to an energy density of 43 megajoule of kilogram. Why is hydrogen a good energy provider? Because it's 3 times higher energy per kilogram, not per volume, per kilogram, in order to have this energy on board. And you need, for autonomous drive, energy on board. Another example, because on the Kurā island we have hydrogen plus battery as energy provider as well, energy storage. In case we have done this only with battery trains, the train, which is roughly 100 tons of empty weight, we should have increased the weight by 33 tons of battery. 33 tons in order to reach 800 kilometers of free autonomy. So therefore we said we have to integrate a better energy system, which is hydrogen, and energy storage on batteries. So both systems are embedded. And already mentioned, due to the climate changes, hydrogen can be produced by different means. There are 2 basic processes in order to produce hydrogen. One is a steaming process from natural gas, which reduces roughly 45% CO2 emissions, or it is even used as waste from chemical process, so which can be then used for hydrogen storage and transportation, or hydrogen, and this is the trend I'm convinced, will be produced by electrolysis with green electricity, either windmills, solar farms, or as well other means of electricity. And per year, we save per train 700 tons CO2, which is equal 400 cars with a mileage of an average of 80,000, 100,000 kilometers. Always the question is, if there's a new technology integrated, how is the system working? And our answer was, if we go to our customers, to our operators, we not only can provide a train, which has new technologies, we have to think about the whole system. And the whole system is including energy production. And we are doing, as Alstom is not a hydrogen producer, we are doing this with partners. So we're not linked to any partner, but we are open to cooperate with any, so that we provide the train which is ready to operate in the morning. And we are as well providing the service for the 30 years for maintenance, meaning the train is ready to operate from 5 o'clock in the morning until midnight, 7 days a week, month by month, year by year, over 30 years. So this is our offer to our customers, to provide the whole package as solution, infrastructure, the system, energy, plus the trains. And for the time being, this train has operated 150,000 kilometers in 15 months. So this is in daily operation in Germany. You can buy a ticket, you can run with the trains, and you can operate these trains. And so far, so good. We have really proven that overall, the business is interesting for customers. So therefore, the 2 contracts have been signed, and we are bidding this, and we're offering this solution to customers who are asking for this, and we can customize, and we can scale up this product as well to other applications. What is our ambition in order to lead the innovation of the future? We would like to work for sustainable mobility, and we are a provider with all systems, rolling stock, services, infrastructure, and signaling. Thank you very much.